mean, nobody came here. The environment can become violent very quickly. Treated badly so many times, they've been cheated so many times, basically. People can be skeptical. And I think it was intriguing to people when they taste something they typically didn't have a high regard for in terms of quality. I'm a lawyer by training. I was studying environmental law. It's not just coffee, but look at all the good it's doing for thousands of people. We've seen a lot of development in the coffee. So you've seen some development, and we're just getting started. I think there's, I'm Vikram with Benchmark Coffee Traders, and we specialize in quality coffees from Papua뉴기니. I personally started with a family relationship in this country and have expanded producer partners over 10 years. I met Curtis over 10 years ago. He was a buyer at one point and then has worked with us as QC manager for a number of years now. Mr. Lee knows Curtis, and as you guys have been interested in Papua뉴기니 and on this trip, and the timing just worked out really nicely. I'm a lawyer by training. I was studying environmental law, and but I never really been a right side of the road person. Like the idea of doing that as a living was not that attractive to me. So at some point, rubber met the road. We have a family relationship with people that do some business in Papua뉴기니, including coffee. And so I lived here for a summer and spent a lot of time on the coffee farms. And that's when I saw the social projects, housing for their pickers, medical posts, free elementary schools for the children. That was when I first saw it as like a career. It's not just coffee, but look at all the good it's doing for thousands of people. So I just got I came back from that trip and super into it. And they said, if you want to sell to importers, we'll pay you a commission. We sell to importers around the world. So I just started cold calling and reading everything I could and visiting roasters. And in that process, some of the roasters, they liked the fact that I had a relationship and they liked the higher quality coffees. So I felt like, I could bring those in. So that was I came first in 2012, and by 2014, I was full-fledged trying to lay out relationships in America with roasters in anticipation of bringing in a container. And then in 2015, we brought in the first container. And it's like a startup, like a lot of people, they don't know you. So they said they would buy, but they didn't. Sort of growing pains and figure it out. But over the course of time, high quality, traceable coffees from Papua뉴기니 are not common. And I think it was intriguing to people when they taste something clean and balanced and delicious from a country or a coffee origin that they typically didn't have a high regard for in terms of quality. We just have iterated over the years of what else can we do to improve the coffee, what else can we do to develop new coffees, what else can we do to invest our own money in community projects, and we expand our relationships across the origin. And that's it. It's been such a great adventure, and I feel like PNG is getting some recognition as a great coffee origin now, and hopefully we had some little piece of that. Working with roasters and then working with producers. The way I view our role is to close that gap. We know our audience. Our roasters literally we're culturally similar. I would be a buyer for what we're selling. I love it. I think I think it's just really tasty coffee. It's unique and it serves social good missions. And so we've just listened to the roasters who also visit many other origins where producers don't visit many other origins. So in many ways, roasters have a view of the world of coffee that producers don't have. And so we want to work with those roasters, learn about what they've seen, and then come back here and implement some of those things. And that's a lot of our perspective on coffee too, is not to reinvent things, but it's to implement what's working in different parts of the world here and improve the coffee that way. And so those are the things that we've done. We've added different drying methods, better sorting, and then expanding relationships. So I've seen a lot of development in the country over these 10 years. I've seen a lot of development in the coffee, and I've seen that producers have seen that if they really take care of the cherry and take care of part of the processing, in many cases that's the pulping and drying, that we're here for that. We're here to procure high quality coffees for fair prices year after year and invest in their communities. And once they believe us, basically, people can be skeptical. So we show up and we prove it that we're the real deal. We are great people to work with, and now some producers have seen that too. Anyway, that's kind of how we work here, and I've seen improvement in our dynamics with roasters now believing us and not being as skeptical, and the country itself has developed a lot. And 10 years in, I feel like we've come so far. It's so exciting, that that roasters are starting to regard Papua뉴기니 as great coffee as well, and we're just getting started. I think there's so much more that we can do here. We'll keep on working on it. Yeah, so much development over the last 10 years. You know, when I first came though, I didn't have a frame of reference. My coffee knowledge wasn't really high at all. I was just learning about it when I first came. But the things that I have seen is the roads used to be way worse. Also, you never saw any foreigners around. I mean, nobody came here. Over the course of the last 10 years, they had a LNG, liquid natural gas, was found. So you have oil companies coming in, and then you have other foreign countries coming in and developing. And so you've seen some development. Some of the, at least some positive parts of that are the roads have improved a lot, and transportation is a major issue here. Infrastructure is a major issue. I view sustainability as environmental, social, and financial. And I think all those aspects of sustainability are necessary. And so we look at how is the coffee being processed, how is water being used, and are those sustainable methods of production? In many cases in PNG, it's shade grown by happenstance. In some cases, they're also actively planting shade trees. Environmentally sustainable methods of production. Socially, I started by working with Sigiri and Bonomo estates, which had already implemented a lot of social projects themselves. Because as you've seen a little bit here, the environment can become violent very quickly. And so making sure that people feel well taken care of, that they're being treated fairly, is critical for like a moral mission. And so our first coffees we ever carried had that anyway. And I've seen, as I've learned about the origin, I've seen how critical that is, because if you're not gonna treat your pickers and workers fairly, they're not going to go quietly into the night, and you need to make sure that you're doing things in a way that people, all the stakeholders, feel that they're treated fairly. So that's the social sustainability. And then financial sustainability. Roasters need to be able to make money on their coffees, and I think a lot of times in the world of social responsibility, there can be some notion sometimes that because you're doing a social good, you gotta pay astronomical prices, and I've never been in favor of that. I don't think that's reality. Frankly, no. It's table stakes. You have to make sure that you're providing people with products that they're going to also make money on, and the social good aspects, the traceability and social projects are not a replacement for that. Those are things we do on top of it because we want to, because that's how we view ourselves, is that's how we trade in coffee. And our roaster partners work with us for the same reasons. That's how they want to trade in coffee, and those are their values. So everybody needs to be able to make money on the coffees in a fair way. Stakeholders need to make sure that they are financially sustainable, and then we make sure that the other two aspects, social and environmental, are there as well. So I've always operated in that way. We've brought in these coffees for some of them for over 10 years, and as long as the producers are making sure the coffees are high quality and consistent, we are making sure we're showing up every year to work with them and to keep on supporting that relationship. Our roaster partners are showing up every year to work with us as well. And, you know, I think over a decade of doing this says something. If it wasn't sustainable, I don't think we'd be here. And so we're happy to be here. I think those are some of the reasons that we're still here, and we'll keep on going.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I am sure since the last 12 years of your dedication into PNG coffee, I can see how difficult everything was, like worse than ever, right? You will see the developments, and you will see a lot of progress here. Not only the coffee, their social, their living. Of course, everything gets better.
I see, well, one, I think the tribal fighting is a persistent issue here, and a lot of that has to do with somebody feels that they weren't treated fairly. So making sure that people, again, feel that they're getting a fair shake and they're not being taken advantage of. I think it's a human feeling, and that needs to be reciprocated. We commit to that, and we ask that they commit to that for us, right? That's not a one-way street. Those are two-way streets. So we work with people, but we make sure we fill our end of it. So I think establishing more of those relationships, or that mentality that we're not going to cheat you. You know, if producers started with allowing some possibility that there's trustworthiness, can build off of that. And I think in a lot of cases, producers can be very skeptical. They've been treated badly so many times, they've been cheated so many times, they're not trusting. And so working on that, and maybe, we can set a little example with producers that can vouch for us, and people can see that, hey, there are ways that you can do this and access markets that are excited about the coffees and are gonna not disappear next year. So I'd like to see that continue. I'd like to see our social projects continue. In terms of experimental coffees, I think there's a lot of good producers out there, but currently their coffees are being aggregated. They don't know where to sell it, so they sell it to parchment buyers and it gets lost. And so they don't have any motivation to do anything special. It's getting lost anyway, right? So I think identifying communities, particular producers to isolate those coffees and work on those relationships to create more variety. I think that's very possible. I think the idea works. I mean, cultivating these relationships, like many relationships, it's like a personal thing. You don't just automatically trust somebody. You gotta spend some time cultivating a real relationship with the person, visiting them, having a cup of coffee, having a beer, showing up year after year. Those things just take time itself. You can't do it in one run, so you just got to put in the time, do it right, build those relationships, and in that process, you'll try with a lot and it'll work with just a couple, if that, but that's okay. And you just keep on going. We enjoy the process anyway. It's a great adventure. So we'll keep on showing up, keep on hacking away at it, and we've seen some success in it. And so I'd like to see that continue.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts and ideas, and I really impressed on the way you come to and you treated yourself being in PNG. Just like you did, I would like to make the experience that I had here with you, and I'll try my best to improve PNG coffee.
It's a great honor to have you guys here. Nobody used to come here, so to have several roasters come and be interested enough to make the journey and the expenses that come along with it and all these things, to be that interested in it is very humbling, and I'm just really grateful you were able to make it and have a good trip.
We all follow back, sorry, don't want the worst thing happen, but yeah, everything's are looking fine.
That's the worst thing that happened, we did pretty good.